Hello and welcome to this tutorial on Beadable pens. First of all, we'll have a look at some pens I've already made, and you can see I'm using letter beads. And now I've made them up, I think they'll make quite nice gifts for Christmas. As well as the letters, I've added a charm at the end for gold or silver cross. Firstly, you unscrew the rod from the main body of the pen. And you'll see here the various items that I've used. These polymer clay discs are perfect to use as spacers between the beads. I'm also using pony beads, but it really depends how much room you have on the blank pen rod. As I replace the rod back into the main body of the pen, you'll see that some of the thread coils are still visible, so don't be tempted to turn too tightly. As a cushion at the top of the pen, I've placed one or two of the clay discs. Then next, a pony bead to match the colour, another clay disc, or two. It depends how much room you have really. Then a crystal spacer bead. And then the charm, which I've attached to a split ring. It's best to have your design laid out before you begin, so you have all the materials to hand. So you'll see I'm placing a clay disc in between each letter, as it provides a good cushion and prevents the beads from moving or sliding. How many pony beads you use at either end of the pen rod depends on how many letters there are in your chosen word. It's surprising how quickly the room gets taken up. Then we start to get to that tricky bit at the end, where we have to work out whether we're covering too much of the thread at the base or not enough. We don't want the beads slip sliding around, but we don't want them to be too tight either. So you can see here, despite my forward planning, that I was trying to work out whether I should fit another clay disc on or not. But actually, in the end, a disc wasn't needed and it seemed to fit quite nicely together and the beads didn't move around, so I was quite happy with that. So here's another pen deconstruction. We'll take all the beads off and start from the beginning. So we have our clay beads, our pony beads, the crystal spacer bead and the charm. And here I'm just checking the depth of the thread that's still visible at the end of the rod. I've sped this part of the video up a bit so as not to be repetitive, but you can always pause it or zoom in for a closer look. There may be some trial and error while you're choosing the right beads for your pens, depending on how easily they fit onto the pen rod. Here I'm using some multicoloured letter beads to jazz it up a bit. I was inspired to make these colourful pens by the publications from LifeWords. You'll see some photos in a moment. I'm not sure if the postcards that you'll see in the background behind the pens are still available, but if you live in the UK, you can certainly place a request for their similar colourful resources, such as this one, the Little Book of Joy. The resources are free of charge. LifeWords Global is a charity, so you could consider giving a donation to support them for their valuable work for the kingdom.